Welcome to the only daily podcast focusing on compliance news of the day. Each morning, start your day with a cup of coffee and Tom Fox, the voice of compliance, to hear about 4 of the top compliance, corruption, or leadership stories you will need to start your day. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network.
The Daily Compliance News for May 1, 2025. Yes, it is May Day. And welcome to the 100 Days of Corruption edition. Before we get to that story, I'm going to give a few reflections on Compliance Week 2025, which just concluded yesterday. First of all, kudos to the new ownership team from Verdant for putting together and pulling off this conference. I know it was a lot of work, particularly as they just bought the entity in February. It was back at the Mayflower. It was the 20th anniversary of Compliance Week, so we were back where we belonged. The tenor of the event was really set with the first keynote on Tuesday morning from Kenneth Polite, who talked about the increased and exponentially more important component of corporate compliance now with the pause in FCPA enforcement by the Trump administration. And that was obviously a theme throughout the conference, as was the use of AI and how you can integrate AI into all of the components of your best practices compliance program. Lots of discussions around whistleblowers, people like Jay Norberg and Mary Inman talked about how whistleblowers are being utilized and how they will continue to be utilized during the Trump administration and beyond. Some technical presentations that are always important and good to hear and good to see. The vendors, of course, were First Rate, Ethico, Diligent, EQS, GAN Integrity, all had prominent booths with lots of displays and lots of good information. The Mayflower treated us great, as they always do, and we were in the main hall and the ballroom for most of the keynotes and other significant presentations. So kudos to the staff, the new editor-in-chief, and all the reporters of Compliance Week. Now on to today's top story, the 100 Days of Corruption from the Huffington Post. Elizabeth Warren marked the first 100 days of Trump by reading aloud 100 reports of his corruption. So pretty impressive when you can have 100 days of corruption or 100 acts of corruption in 100 days. So kudos to Elizabeth Warren for calling this out. Next up from Reuters, the House of Representatives in their continued attempt to eviscerate the federal government and enforcement is trying to move antitrust enforcement out of the Federal Trade Commission and make it the sole jurisdiction of the Department of Justice. The FTC has been a part of anti-competitive and antitrust work for over 100 years, but the House wants to eviscerate this independent agency and bring it under the control of the executive by moving it to the Department of Justice. And our final story comes to us from the Wall Street Journal, the technology section, and it is criticism from the CEO at Google, Sundar Pichai, who took the stand in the remedies phase of the Google antitrust trial to try to claim that Google should not be he did claim that Google should not be broken up, and that would be an overreaching remedy. I guess he's never heard of Standard Oil. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network and a proud member of C-Suite Radio. Thanks so much for listening. I hope you'll join me again tomorrow.